About 3 years ago, Santa Claus brought an amazing present to our house. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Tammy, and we have two great kids, Skylar and Austin. Skylar's my daughter. She would have been 7 at the time, and my son, Austin, would have been 4 at the time. So just remember those ages. And what Santa brought us, there was 2 huge gold boxes, one for Skylar, one for Austin. And as they got up Christmas morning in their matching PJs, as you must in the James household, they open up each of their box and out jumps, out of one, a wonderful kitty cat, Snow White. My son opens his, and of course a little gray, a little white cat, fatter, my kind of cat. We're cat people. Jump out, perfect Christmas morning. The cats are instantly a part of our family, falling to sleep that afternoon because the kids had gotten up about 5 a.m. on the couch with my son, and we have pictures of that. It's just wonderful. About that same time, my son started to develop a breathing condition, and we were learning about things as we progressed and went to doctors, and eventually he developed asthma, and we learned how to care for him. After about a year or so, the doctor started asking, is there anything he could potentially be allergic to? And we said, well, we don't know. We do have cats who've been in the house for less than a year, that kind of thing. And they said, well, we think you ought to go get tested. Find out. Well, remember, he's 4, so there's nothing more joyous than having to take your 4-year-old son to get an allergy test where they basically have a leather strap on a wooden chair, hold his little arm down, and of course, Mom and I are just, whatever, and they prick his arm with, a needle with all these different things from evergreen cheese to mold and whatever. And the only bright red beacon that showed up, cats. The only one. He wasn't allergic to anything else, just cats. So we tried for a year. We bought air purifiers. We bought all sorts of things, and we scrubbed the house from head to toe, do everything to keep these cats, who, by the way, were named Coco and Bama. Bama being the big bruiser cat for me. And doing everything we could to try and cohabitate together, and it just wasn't working out. And my wife and I had to make a very hard decision. We had to get rid of the cats for the safety of my son. He had been in the emergency room several times over the course of that before we learned about the cats. It's a very difficult situation. Fortunately, yet unfortunately, my mother-in-law had lost the last of her kind of lifelong cats, and she lives in California, and she was about ready for some new cats. Tammy and I discussed it, and we decided to send the cats out to Grandma in California. We checked with Continental Airlines, and they're fantastic about shipping animals. If you ever need to do that, they've got it down. They're awesome. Anyway, so we told the kids one day when we decided to do it the morning of, so that there wouldn't be a whole week drawn out over it. So we told them that morning they had a couple of hours, and it was my unfortunate job to have to take the cats away from the kids, put them in the car, drive to the airport, and that's exactly what I did, leaving them boo-hooing all the way. So go to the cargo section of the airport in Philadelphia is where you have to go. And I walk in, and there's just a desk, and it looks just like a cargo hold that you would anticipate for massive cargo. So I bring the cats, I set them down, and I start filling out the paperwork. And a guy comes along and he says, can I take the cats, I gotta weigh them. And I sure, absolutely. There's a window right here, and I could see through, and he weighs them over there with the other luggage and stuff going off to wherever else in the world. And I see the cats being sat down. And as we finish the paperwork and I hand over my $400, that's how much it costs to ship cats to California, by the way, with a stop in Dallas for a refresher snack. That's what they do. So as I sign the paper and give the money, and the guy goes, all right, well, I guess that's it. And you gotta realize, as attached as my kids were to this, I'm a big baby when it comes to my cats. So I look at this guy as best I can, and I said, can I say goodbye to my cats? And he goes, oh, sure, yeah, no problem. I said, I thought you were gonna bring them back out. And so I go in and I kneel down beside them because they're in their crates and they're just meowing, and I've got my little finger in there talking to Bama and Coco, And I'm like, I'm going to miss you guys so much. I can't believe it. And Bama's pissed, by the way. Anyway, it's another story on his attitude. But he's in the back of the cage just going, what are you doing to me? So anyway, this guy realizes I'm blubbering, and I mean crying from my heart. I mean tears, snot coming out my nose, everything good from the belly, crying. This guy comes over, he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, are you okay, buddy? Oh, by the way, he's the size of a linebacker, okay, this guy, right? So he's huge, and he comes over to me, he's like, are you okay? And he's trying to help me out, and he's patting me on the back, and really beating the hell out of me, you know, trying to make me feel better. And I tried to explain to him. Now, in my head, what I said to him was, my son is sick, and I have to give the cats to my mother-in-law, or the grandmother's going to take them and adopt them, because he's very sick and he has asthma, and this is the best decision, don't you think? This is in my head. What came out was, my son is dying and I have to ship these cats off or he will not be or I will get my son. Anyway, so that's what he heard, you know, and he's like, your son is sick? And I'm like, he's sick, he's sick. So anyway, eventually, as only men in a warehouse can do for comfort, bring over, not tissues, but rolls of paper towels, and hand them to me. And I wiped the snot and the tears and everything else that's come out, and slowly walked away and got back in my car for that long ride home.